For many players, even advanced ones, the ruins are quite intimidating on their own. However, the materials, gems, loot, and ancient technology they provide are just too good to pass up. So if you want to beat all of the game's bosses, and especially if you want to make a long-running mega base, taking on the ruins is a must. There's just one big problem to get around. Well, okay, when it's the ruins and the caves, there's actually dozens of problems, but that's another video. Point being, in order to keep harvesting materials and crafting loot from the ruins, you have to defeat the ruins' major boss, Ancient Fuelweaver. Now, I don't hate the Fuelweaver fight, per se. In fact, I think it is definitely one of the better boss fights Clay has designed and really doesn't need a rework like Ancient Guardian or especially like Crab King did. But because I learned this game for 2 years on console and I'm so used to fighting on a controller, the fight is way too much of an ask for the amount of timing, aiming, and inventory management they want. Plus, when you're building a mega base, you really want to streamline your time and resource acquisition as much as possible. Now, unlike my Claws videos, which are exploits, and my Toadstool video, which is a tutorial, this video is a cheese. It is meant to do the fight for you and get it out of the way for all that much desired ruins loot. Before I get into the materials and demonstration, I want to give credit where it's due because this game is a community-driven game, and so we help each other out. This cheese is not originally my idea, rather it is a combination of two methods I came across on YouTube. The first, which is out of date now due to the lure plant patch, is from Fam the Lamb, who gave me the idea for positioning and setup. Second is from Anonymous Almighty, who gave the idea for the suitable placement for the lure plant. Links for both of their videos are in the description. Now for the materials, you are going to want 44 dreadstone, yes I know that's a lot, 2 boards, 1 hambat, 1 bee queen crown. You can subsidize this with a couple of sanity foods, strong ones, 33 and up, but you are going to want some way to get your sanity back to keep the nightmare creatures off of you. 1 lazy explorer, and 2 wooden gates. Yes, we are going to be void walking. And don't worry about void walking if you don't know what that is. I will get into more detail during the setup. Naturally, you will need the Shadow Atrium, Ancient Key, and 8 fossils to activate the fight as well. But you will also want a helmet besides the Bee Queen crown. You want to preserve that as much as possible. As well as some healing foods just as precaution until you get the timing down and in case Fuelweaver doesn't feel like cooperating and you need to take him around again. In order to get the blueprint for the Dreadstone scaffolding and the Dreadstone we need to construct it, you are going to have to farm Nightmare Werepig, which unfortunately means you have to fight Scrappy Werepig on the surface each time as well, because the Werepig is forced to alternate between the two. You fight him in the caves for Dreadstone, then you fight him on the surface to reset his caves fight, repeat until you have enough Dreadstone. Alright, with our materials in hand, let's get on to the setup. Now, regardless of how the Atrium randomly generates, the set piece where you always fight Ancient Fuelweaver is going to be the same. So what you want to do is set up the gate as close to the edge as possible in this side of the set piece. It'll look exactly the same as mine, and because a video is always somebody's first, let me go ahead and explain what we're going to do before we get into doing it during the fight. We're going to be doing what's called void walking, and all void walking is you get something to push your character out into the void. It's as simple as using any gate. You can do this anywhere in the caves if you really wanted to. Do not think you can do this on the surface because Clay already coded it to where you just sink in the ocean and then end up on the shore. They already coded that. I thought I could do that to sort of water walk fights, Crab King. Fortunately, it didn't work. But for our purposes in Ancient Fuelweaver, it'll work just fine. And if you're worried about getting back in bounds, well, they already have a command for that. Just go to server commands and then rescue me and you go right back in. Now with the Ancient Key, we get this all set up. Have our Bee Queen Crown and armor in the Atrium to activate the fight, and then we have our Hambat. Now, what we need to do, one last thing we need to do, is set up the Dreadstone pillar scaffolding. What you're going to do is, when you put the gate on that side of the set piece, you want to put the Dreadstone pillar on this side of the set piece. Now you want to make it this close to this edge of the arena where you have the statue, the boulder, and this nightmare lantern. You do want to put them not on top of it. This might be because of realistic placement, but this close will be just fine. If it takes you a few tries, I know it's a pain because Clay hasn't really set up the cave servers very well. In order to roll back, you have to quit out into the menu and then re-roll from there. Now we set this all up. Setup is simple as that. So much easier than my claws video. Now all we have to do is, well, do the fight. So make sure you have your armor piece on. You don't want the Bee Queen Crown to get reduced durability. That's for just me. But we have our healing item and our sanity item just in case. Do not panic if this takes you a few tries to get the setup, because it's never 100% with how the AI likes to work. What we're going to try to do is when we activate Fuelweaver, we're going to immediately move over to this corner, hug it as much as possible. He will capture us in a bone cage, but he won't ever be able to reach us. His pathing just isn't that set yet. Once the bone cage dissipates, we're going to move in this direction, and he's going to follow in kind. Now, when he gets to about here, he'll either do one of two things. He'll either try to capture you in a bone cage again, or try to swing at you. Either way, when that happens, we are going to telepoof away over in this direction, and then he's going to path towards us, but he's going to get caught up in between the Dreadstone scaffold and this lantern. This is also why we set up the gate over here. Before the fight begins, you're just going to leave it open. We're going to close it and void walk out, like so. Equip our handbat and our Bee Queen Crown, and just come up behind him and hit him until he dies. It is that simple. Now, do not panic. Sometimes his AI is a bit weird and it will detect you as you're coming up from this angle. And again, it's not super common, but it is technically possible for him to like slip around the lantern and then get free again. If that happens, do not panic. It's as simple as resetting it up. Go ahead and re-equip your items. Have him come around. This is why we have the healing food and sanity items, for any corrections that you might need to do. Until you get it down, it'll be more streamlined. You'll get the hang of it. Just give yourself some time, as with any strategy or method, and you'll get it. So, with that out of the way, let's go ahead with the demonstration. All you need to do is play the little game of setting up the skeleton until it looks like this, with the atrium in, and then make a beeline for where we said before on this corner. He will capture us in a bone cage. Oh dear, whatever shall I do? Wait for it to dissipate, and then get in position. Just gonna heal my sanity a little bit here. Alright, he caught me. Get ready to telepoof away. Let him make his way to you. And there you have it. He is completely stuck there. That's why we have the Dreadstone Pillar. It's so durable, he can't break it by the amount of time he walks into it, unlike Claws in my, well, gate method video. Just void out. Equip your items. See how he kind of detected me there by looking at me? Those are just those small instances where he could just, you know, path away from this gate, but like I said, you can just go ahead and reset it up. This is why we have the Bee Queen Crown. We really don't want the nightmare creatures to mess with us, because they can't actually reach us if they come up to the edge here. So it just helps to just regain your sanity with the Bee Queen Crown, and then just beat him up with the handbat. You can use the Bright Shade Sword when you get around to it. It's pretty much just as good as the handbat, a little bit stronger, but you have to use the Bright Shade Repair Kit, etc. And the most difficult part is holding this down. Oh, how nice. I got a legendary skin drop. But yeah, this is it. We got farming to do on the valuable ruins loot. We don't got time for messing around with him. We just got the last few swings here, and down he goes. So simple. Rescue me. Now I like to wear the moggles just so I can see everything quite clearly. But that's all of it. If you want to, go ahead and use gift wrap or bundling wrap to maintain your handbat as much as possible. Just collect your loot. Thankfully, they don't fall out into the void and then dissipate. And then just set it up for next time. It is that simple once you get it down. I hope this video not only helped you with the obstacle of the Fuelweaver fight, but also encourages you to go down to the caves and take on the ruins. Once you have regular access to ruins loot like green gems and deconstruction stabs, it can be as revolutionary to your game as getting bundling wrap for the first time. If this video helped you, please leave a like, as this lets me know that the video has done its job. If you would like help with other boss fights and Don't Starve Together, check out my other videos on them. As of the publishing of this video, I have a solo Claws guide out and a solo Toadstool video coming out soon after. Take care of yourselves, and I hope to see you then.